COVID-19 has caused, federal government to pay a lot more attention to data. So, the pandemic is generating a lot of data. Agencies are kind of proactively trying to obtain that data. And they're also creating more data within their own agencies in terms of tracking personnel accountability, facilities management, supply chain, et cetera. So I think the silver lining of this is that, data has become really important to COVID response and to federal government. And we're seeing them kind of quickly stand up capabilities to manage and exploit that data and report it, in real time to operational decision makers. So I think it's kind of elevated the status of data and the need for insights. And it's also led to the creation of new data streams. I also think another interesting result of the pandemic is the way data scientists and analysts are working. So, remote work has driven us all home. And data scientists are actually being forced to collaborate more. So, kind of a traditional problem with data science analytics is that, your super scientist performs work on their local device, and they're the only one who understands how it's performed, and they kind of hoard it. What's kind of interesting now is that, with remote work, we see more code sharing, more collaborative data science, more collaborative modeling. Models need to be put more into enterprise formats and standards. So it's kind of an exciting opportunity to force collaboration, off this increased data and demand. So, I think we all miss being together, but it's helping us be virtually more collaborative. I still think the CDO is a really new role for most agencies and most individuals in that role. So coming from an industry standpoint, I see the CDO role as critical to building the data science workforce, as well as supporting technologies and ultimately advancing insights from data. I think over the last couple of months or short term, 1 to 2 years, the focus has really evolved. First, it was really about solving critical data science talent gaps. But that said, that's still a challenging situation, but we've seen, the emergence of more of those skills. Then it was kind of about how do we take advantage of AI and ML and catch up to commercial industry. And I think that AI ML pilot trial phase is over, and now CDOs are really thinking about how to practically implement AI and ML and govern it so it's useful. So I think all these kind of challenges and dependencies remain for the CDO role. But I think where we are right now is trying to figure out how to kind of harness the investments and developments over the last couple of years to have high agency impact. I think the biggest challenge is translating insights into practically useful information that decision makers can act on. So we often see data scientists, analysts kind of studying the problem and kind of living within their own worlds. We've seen agencies, there's a big dashboard trend. Everyone had to get dashboards. Obviously we've got insights that are conveyed on PowerPoint slides, more digital communication of models. But those things kind of get passed around or live within smaller networks. So I think the biggest challenge is trying to get those insights to decision makers in a way they can actually act on the information and trust it. So I think over the next couple months, if not years, I think there's going to be a really big focus on data storytelling and kind of insights generation / presentation. So how do we transparently convey what comes out of a complex model into something that's useful? And how do you integrate a modeling insight with kind of that more functional or domain knowledge from the mission? So it's kind of more tractionable and operational. Without data, there's honestly no point in those technologies. So, if data wasn't so large and fast and moving at speed, we wouldn't need the cloud, right? We wouldn't need AI and ML to exploit it. So I think data, has a key role in driving the development of those solutions, and then also being able to, harness the utility of those solutions. So without data, there's honestly no point. We can all just, write things on pieces of paper and share them. So, I think data has a key role. And I think what we kind of were dealing with over the last couple of years were, how do we create AI and ML and cloud, such that we can handle the explosion in data size and volume. There was kind of the big data era. I'd like to think that we're kind of moving on from that and figuring out how do we actually, get more insights that are actionable. So I think that the kind of management of the size of data is something that industry and federal government have a handle on. And now that we've done that, I think there's significant opportunity to, get more value from it.